May our children live. May all our children live. These years are a phenomenal time to be alive. These years, this decade, are one cosmic beat. It's part of a long rhythm. The Galactic Alignment is on. It's a beat in a long rhythm. So long it includes the entirety of written history and more. Since the time, almost all the time that we've just been the only humans. The Neanderthals were gone since the last time this happened. The Mayan calendar comes to an end in 1 week, December 21st, 2012, and it is not the end of the world. You are not fatigued by false doom prophecies. You are not inured to promises of enlightenment. The truth is in the sky. These years are a long, strong beat in a 26,000-year rhythm. The Maya thought our time was special. Whatever they knew. Did they know about precession? Did they know about the Earth's wobble? Did they know about whatever they knew? They singled out this moment. They created a calendar. It didn't start during their time. It started just before anyone started writing anything that would be saved. 1/5 of a full cycle of astrological ages. 1/5. They created a calendar that didn't start during their time, but it ends during ours. 1 week on the winter solstice, and the sun will rise in alignment with the center of the galaxy. 12 astrological ages have passed since this last hour. The cosmic beat is stronger than any that a person can experience. Only we can experience it even once in a lifetime. It's a cosmic beat. There are rhythms. Jupiter and Saturn align every almost 20 years. Every time they align on almost every 20 years, Uranus is at one corner of a square, reliable. I looked, JPL says so. And sometimes, like in the year 2000, all the other planets get it together and manage to line up with them. Every 4th month, Mercury seems to slip against the zodiac belt of stars. It's called retrograde motion. That cycle completes itself a few times a year. Jupiter and Saturn align a few times, maybe more, in your life. These patterns may seem arbitrary to the skeptic, but we create artificial patterns, artificial rhythms with cell phones and television. These patterns have been affecting human beings for as long as they have been looking at the stars. So these patterns have affected everyone who has ever lived. And still, we are special. It's a greater, slower rhythm that has our attention now. The ancients, who never wrote and who have been forgotten, couldn't have known. The winter solstice sun rises in conjunction with the gate of heaven, one time in 26,000 years. The gate of heaven is a location on the plane of the ecliptic. The path the sun travels across the sky every day. If we could see beyond the blue and beyond the haze, we could also see the line drawn across the sky by the length of the galaxy. They intersect. They intersect at a point called the gate of heaven. It's a gate because it leads to the true galactic center. No, the true galactic center is not exactly on the plane of the ecliptic. It's just a few degrees off. According to NASA, that location is 5 degrees Sagittarius. What people born in the sign of Capricorn know is that their sign starts on the winter solstice, the first day of winter, December 21st, and that's the beginning of their sign, the Capricorns. 5 degrees Sagittarius should seem a long way off because it is. We have a conflict of paradigms. The community of astrologers sees tropical time, not the scientists. According to NASA, the sun will be in Sagittarius on the 21st of December. According to the ancients, according to the astrologers, wherever the sun is on the winter solstice is 0 degrees Capricorn. The conflict occurs because the planet is misshapen. It wobbles. It's pudgy in the middle. And this causes a sort of distortion. For sky watchers, it creates the effect of a wheel inside a wheel. The inner wheel is the wheel of Mercury's retrograde. The inner wheel is the wheel of Jupiter and Saturn alignments. The outer wheel turns slowly. An observer who could live 1,000,000 years could watch it happen. Every year, the sun's location against the backdrop of stars would slip. 1 degree every 72.5 years. 360 degrees in 26,000. We could go forward half the cycle, 13,000 years, and it will have slipped so much that December 21st won't be the shortest day of the year anymore. It will be the longest in 15,012. When you point your smartphone at the sun with your Starfinder app in 1 week, it's going to tell you that the sun is in the middle of the constellation of Sagittarius. And this confuses people, and it all breaks down from there. So when you point it at the sun and you see it's in Sagittarius, that's NASA's information. NASA doesn't care about astrology. NASA can use the old map that's 1,800 years old. What we have to do is envision the new constellations, because they're the tropical constellations and they're our constellations. We go out in 1 week and Ashe, it'll be a night as clear as last night and tonight. Right at dusk, right at sunset, and just like the ancients did, just like everybody for 26,000 years has done, 30 degrees, it's the best number to go by. 3 fists off the horizon of that setting sun, and you've got your arc. And the stars we see in there, that's our Capricorn. Those are our stars in our constellation. They exist because we have watched the wandering stars of the planets set their rhythms. regardless of the alarm clocks and the television and the radio stations. We're bonded to all of them, and we have a chance to understand it right now, because right now has managed to be a big enough deal to get at least this much attention. And so we are bonded to all of the ancients for 26,000 years. They were just as smart as we are. They were as contemplative as we are, and curious and puzzled. And we're only so far astray. And whatever the Mayans knew, they marked off this much time, 1/5 of the full cycle of astrological ages, and they just showed it to us. Because they're clowns, there's something about them. Yes, aliens intervene. They're just these weirdo clowns. They make faces at the extra-dimensional people. They make faces at the stars, like the rocks I found in a valley during a trip, where there was an arrow and there was a smiley face made out of the rocks. That, in the middle of Mexico, the only trip I had there. So they see us because even for them 1,000 years ago, this was the next greatest point that was coming. This was the next greatest moment that was coming. And they were happy they were only 1,000 years off from it. Go out on the solstice, count up 3 fists, and find the stars in there. Do it every year because the Galactic Alignment goes on for years, for a decade, for 15 years. Find those stars. Learn those rhythms. The 13th Bach tune is complete. A new one is beginning. It is a new age we have lived to see.